Hi, Orange Girl here with another scrapbooking process video for you. I am working with the November Clique Kit. This Clique Kit is called Seneca Falls and it's full of a lot of black and white. I found these daughters. Nope. I found pictures of my daughter and I thought I would scrap those and use a ton of black and white. So what I started with was I went through and found, like I'm on the cut apart sheet here, and I found a few pieces that matched the sentiment, the idea, as well as the fact that they were black and white. And I cut that cut file out knowing that I was going to use it because it's a bunch of butterflies. It's a cut file from the Cut Shoppe, and I'll link all that information below as well. But I wanted that to be behind my photo, and then I was just going to start with black and white elements and see what I found. I wasn't super happy trying to figure out where to place these, but then I found this piece. There, I'm like, oh, I like that. This piece says, it's meant to be a journal spot, and it says, "This made my day." So then I decided, since it had a little bit of that kind of peachy orange color, that I should go through and find things that are also orange. And eventually I determined that I also need to grab some green things because there's green on that little piece of floral ephemera. So I'm going to go through, and I go back and forth. I don't end up using that love, love, love. I thought about that for my title. The title is one of the last things I end up doing on this layout because I had a hard time deciding what to call it. So I'm going through items that are from both the Traveler's Notebook kit as well as the main kit. And I'm pulling items that I think I can use as layers behind and around the photo. I decided to use, so that green that you see there on the left is actually supposed to be a little plant in a pot. And I put it behind it and it looks more like a leaf, and I kind of like how that looks. And so now I remembered from the last layout that I made that there was this cute little plant paper that comes in a 6x6 paper pad. Well, it's actually a piece of paper too, but I decided I wanted a little bit more of a layer behind the photo of my daughter. And so I added that. It added a little pop of green. The other thing that I added is that little clip. I haven't actually clipped it yet, but I put a little clip up there on the top left. I'm not sure what I just did. I'm not sure why I shut the thing off. I probably just had to go to the bathroom and then I came back. So I did kind of do this all in one day. And sometimes when I do layouts, it takes me a few days to complete it because I have to think in between. But on this day, I did take some time, but I did it in one day. So just a couple hours probably, back and forth, trying to decide what to do. The title probably took me the longest, but I don't make you wait to see all of that. So, and I also do a little bit of fussy cutting. So all I'm doing here is adding some tissue paper behind my photo. It's just a nice, another little layer. It makes what's behind it a little less, stand out a little less, and so the photos stand out a little bit more. And then I decided to go ahead and pop up the picture of the actual butterfly that's in her hands and drying off and getting ready to leave for the day and or for its life. And actually these were the last monarchs probably of the season, which I am told are typically the ones that migrate to Mexico. So that's kind of cool. So I use a stapler to staple a lot of my ephemera together. And the reason that I do that is because it's somewhat movable still. And it holds it together, obviously. And also, like, I can put things between layers. So, like, one of those leaves is above the green piece of paper, and a couple of them are below the green piece of paper, of pattern paper. So, that kind of thing. It just helps with layering, I feel like. And then what I've been doing here is just kind of trying to glue everything together because I need to start gluing stuff down, but I hadn't glued this down and I knew I wanted to do something with it before I added everything on top. So I glued all of my layout to each other so that I could move it and then glue it down, and then I used some orange thread, and I went ahead and just used that orange thread down the middle of each one of the butterflies. And now, since it's in a bunch of bigger pieces here, it's much easier to put my pictures back where I wanted them. So if that makes sense. I do that a lot. Like I'm not someone that likes to glue things actually down to the paper right away. I take a while to make decisions. Like this here, I was realizing that with that overlap, it wasn't working with all of that foam adhesive underneath it. So I took some of it off and then it worked just fine. Okay, so I really like the way it added some texture to those butterflies, and I want to put this paper around the side and top just to kind of give that a little bit more. There's not much going on over on that side. I have everything kind of at the bottom left, and so, which I did on purpose, but I just wanted to have something over there on that side. So I'm going to use this paper on the sides, but I want some of that black to show, the black and white flowers to show. And so I went ahead and just sliced off the edge there. And that will make this maybe a skosh less than 12 by 12, but it doesn't really matter in the long run. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to rip the paper. I'm going to do it really fast. I mean, I just sped this up because it takes a while to do to get it right. I go pretty slow when I'm ripping and I go back and forth between ripping and cutting a little bit. And I wasn't getting quite enough off, but I liked the way the rip looked, and I knew I needed to cut off the sides of those butterflies anyway, so I just cut a little bit more off each side, the other two sides that I didn't rip. And now I'm gluing it down, and then off camera, I went ahead and I zipped my sewing machine around the edges with that same thread, and then I can rough up the edges here a little bit. And then I'm going to flip it over, and I might want to use this paper. So I'm going to go ahead and just cut that paper out so that I can use either side of that on another layout. Ooh, I like that paper. I kind of wish I would have kept that. But I like the way this ends up, so I should buy all of the paper, at least 2 of them, right? Okay, so now I'm ready to put everything together. And so in a few minutes here, or in a little bit, not very long, I'm going to start speeding everything up because I'm just going to start gluing stuff down. I haven't quite finished embellishing yet, though. So what I do, here I discovered that I missed a butterfly. I wasn't going to do the butterflies that my things were going to go over the top of, my photos and layers were going to go over the top of. So I left a few empty, and I discovered there was one that was going to peek out of there and show. So I wanted to just zip that back really quickly. I like having my machine there because it's really easy then for me to use it on any layout. It's just right there, right in front of me. Okay, so now I'm committing a little bit more. So I'm going to start gluing more things down. I'm still not gluing things to the back yet, but at least I know that this is how I want my layers. So I'm going to go ahead and glue my photos to the layers, if that makes sense. A lot of people ask me what I have in this bottle, and I just use Scotch Quick Dry. Or tacky glue, I think it's called. It used to be called Quick Dry, or now it's called Quick Dry, and it used to be called tacky glue. I can't remember which. And I just get it either at Michael's or on Amazon, and I put it in that fine liner bottle. I use the yellow lid, whatever size that is, works really well, and I don't have to water it down or anything, and it comes out of the top really well. The only thing you have to worry about is making sure that you get the lid on right away because it will dry, and then it's hard to, you ruin the bottle, basically. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go back and forth between these stickers that come, I don't remember which kit they come in, but I think they come in the Traveler's Notebook kit. And I'm going to go back and forth between those and the printable that comes, the exclusive printable that comes in the kits. And I think I use actually both of them, one for some things from the Traveler's Notebook printable and some things from the main kit printable. right there, I ended up deciding that I might as well just go ahead and glue down those pictures, because every time I was trying to add these little embellishments, I was moving it and it was bothering me. And I knew that it was where I wanted it to be. So these stickers are great. Most of them are see-through, transparent, and or translucent, I guess would be a better word for it. And then, but the color ones show up really well. And most of what I'm using is black anyway. And then some of the orange I am using more on the white butterflies, so then it works out really well. So I found some flowers. So I'm using this flower. I cut this one out, that label underneath the picture. And then I find, I think, a few more flowers that I end up cutting out and using those as more layers around my photo. So like that one right there. I'm going to use this, which is actually meant to be part of a card. And part of it's cut off because it's the edge of the card, if you were to cut it out and use it as a card. But it doesn't really matter because I'm going to hide that part anyway. I think I do 2 different flowers like that I end up hiding the parts that is straight, or that it's cut off. So I sped this up a lot because all I'm doing really is going through this book over and over, back and forth. What do I want? A little more black, a little more a little more orange, a little more of that kind of aqua color. So I do that for a little bit, and then I'm gonna grab, I think here in a second it's gonna break because I found some more stuff to cut out. Here we go, right here. And then I come back and I've cut some more things out. A couple more flowers, a little heart, and I just didn't want you to have to watch me cut every single one of those out. But all of those things that I cut are pretty much from one of the printables that comes with the kits. I'm adding a little tangled thread if you're someone that follows my channel, my YouTube channel, and I will link that information below so that you can if you aren't already a subscriber. I use a lot of tangled thread. I like it as a layer. It adds a little bit to the messiness. It adds some texture. It's great for adding a little pop of color here and there. So off camera, one of the other things I did while I was cutting things is I was thinking about what I was going to use for a title. I really thought a title would go nicely right here. And so I thought it needed to be one word. So I decided emerge would work because that's really what happens. Those butterflies emerged on this day. So I will probably do another butterfly layout because butterflies were a big part of our summer and fall this year. And so I have a lot of stories that I want to tell about those. This one I didn't really do any journaling, and so I'll have to do another layout at another time. But I am putting a little bit of tangled thread underneath emerge, and then I go back and forth trying to hold things down with various tubs, like that one right there that is my trash. I just use that on my desk all the time so that I don't have to. My desk gets a little messy if I don't have something like that because my trash isn't super easily accessible. Or maybe I'm just lazy, but with it right there on my desk, I can just move it over and cut right over the top of it or whatever. So I use a cute little container for that. And then I also use it to weight things down when I glue things. So these came in one of the kits as well. I can't remember which. They're Amy Tangerine and they're little puffy stickers. I think I used them on my last layout as well. And I am almost done here. I thought, in fact, at one point I thought I was done, and then I decided, oh, a little bit more. So I do go back to that sticker book and add a couple of things and add a few more of the enamel hearts. The hearts are so cute, and there's, I think, 3 different colors and 3 different sizes, I think. Maybe 4 different colors. I use 3 different colors, but I think there's 4 or 5 different colors. And there's still so many left, and I think I used them on my last layout and this layout. So I've used them on at least 2 layouts, and yeah, and I still have quite a few left you can see on there. So, oh, there's purple ones and gray ones, yeah, yellow, a whole bunch of fun ones. So anywhere I felt like there needed to be a little bit more color or something, I added some hearts. It looked a little plain up there, so I added some hearts. And then I'm finished. So in the close-ups, you'll be able to see the layers and the dimension that I'm able to get. There's the final layout. And here are the layers with the thread. I did leave some of the thread that I sewed. I left the strands just to add some more texture as well. So thanks a lot for stopping by. I hope you'll subscribe if you like what you see, and I'll see you in the next video.